Hello JEST aspirants, welcome to JEST Classical Mechanics Series. Question number 1. For a relativistic point particle, the momentum p, where v is its velocity as measured by an inertial observer, then the acceleration is in the same direction as the applied force. Now force F is equal to dp by dt. And let's write this 1 upon under root 1 minus v square by c square as gamma. Then this will be equal to d by dt of gamma m naught v, which can be written as gamma m naught dv by dt plus m naught v d gamma by dt. So F is equal to gamma m naught a plus m naught v d gamma by dt. Now consider a case when F is parallel to v. In that case, change in gamma is in the same direction as v, so the acceleration a stays aligned with force. And if F is perpendicular to v, in that case the magnitude of the velocity doesn't change initially, so d gamma by dt will be equal to 0. In that case, F will be equal to gamma m naught a, that means force and acceleration will be in the same direction. So here option C is correct. D is correct. Next question. A boat is floating in a pond with still water. There is a heavy stone on the boat. If the stone is dropped gently into the water, what happens to the water level in the pond after the stone sinks completely? Now case 1 will be when the stone is in the boat. In that case, the boat stone system is floating, so it must displace a volume of water whose weight equals the total weight of the boat and the stone. That means the volume of the water that is displaced by the stone's weight. Let it be V floating, and that will be equal to mass of stone upon density of water. And in the second case, when the stone is in the water, that means the heavy stone sinks, meaning density of stone is greater than density of water. And when it is submerged, it only displaces a volume of water equal to its own physical volume. That means V sunk will be equal to mass of stone upon density of stone. But since density of stone is greater than density of water, V sunk will be less than V floating. That means the stone displaces less water when resting at the bottom of the pond than it did when it was floating in the boat, causing the overall water level to drop. So option A is correct. Next question. Suppose the mass of the sun is reduced to half of its original value very slowly, that is over a billion years. What will be the effect of this on Earth's orbit? Now here time period of revolution is 1 year and of Earth around sun is 1 year, and here the time frame is billions of years. So this is an adiabatic process. In classical mechanics, when a parameter of a periodic system changes slowly compared to the period of motion, the action variables are conserved. And in central field motion, angular momentum L and radial action J are adiabatic invariants. That means eccentricity remains constant, so orbit remains elliptical. And m dot a, m is mass of sun and a is semi-major axis, this product remains constant. So as mass becomes half, semi-major axis A doubles to 2a. So it remains elliptical, but the mean radius changes. Next question. A particle under the force field given by F is equal to kr, where k is a positive constant, the difference in work done if the particle moves from point A to point B following semicircular paths in the clockwise and anti-clockwise directions on the xy plane will be. F is given, this is kr bar. Let's check if it is conservative or not. So this is kx x cap plus ky y cap plus kz z cap, and you can check that del cross F is equal to 0. That means F is conservative. and work done will be independent of path. So it will be same along both the paths. So difference will be 0. So option B is correct. Next question. The Lagrangian of a two-dimensional system is given by L. Which of the following either are constants of motion? L is given. Let's write x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. We will use polar coordinates in two dimensions. So L will be equal to half m. This will be r dot square plus r square theta dot square, and this is k r square. So k raised to minus r raised to minus 3. Here there is no term involving t. So dou L by dou t is equal to 0. That means the Hamiltonian corresponding to total mechanical energy is a constant of motion. Similarly, dou L by dou theta is equal to 0. That means theta is a cyclic coordinate and the generalized momentum conjugate to theta is conserved. So p theta is equal to dou L by dou theta dot is m r square theta dot. This will be conserved and p theta is nothing but angular momentum of the system. So energy and angular momentum will be constants of motion. Next question. Consider a circular disk of radius r and mass m in the xy plane with a surface mass density rho r, sigma r, where r is the distance from the center of the disk. What is the moment of inertia around the z-axis through the center of the disk? And here the answers are in terms of m. So first we have to calculate m as well. Here it is given that r is much greater than a. So we can approximate upper limit as infinity. So mass will be 0 to infinity dm. So 0 to infinity sigma r 2 pi r dr. This is equal to 2 pi sigma naught 0 to infinity r e raised to minus r square a square dr. Let's put t is equal to r square by a square. So 2r dr by a square is equal to dt. So m is equal to 2 pi sigma naught 0 to infinity a square by 2 e raised to minus t dt, that is pi sigma naught a square e raised to minus t upon minus 1, limits 0 to infinity, which is 1. So this will be equal to pi sigma naught a square. Now we want to calculate moment of inertia. So Iz is equal to integration 0 to infinity r square dm. So 0 to infinity r square sigma r 2 pi r dr. So 2 pi sigma naught 0 to infinity r cube e raised to minus r square by a square dr. Again let's put r square by a square is equal to t. So 2r dr by a square is equal to dt. So this will be 2 pi sigma naught. One r will be going with this dr, and we have r square here. So this will be a square t e raised to minus t, then a square by 2 dt. Integration 0 to infinity. So pi sigma naught a raised to 4 integral 0 to infinity t e raised to minus t dt. This is gamma function, this is gamma 2, and gamma 2 is 1. So this is pi sigma naught a raised to 4. But we have m is equal to pi sigma naught a square. So this will be equal to m into a square. So Iz is m a square. So here option C is correct. Next question. A block suspended from a massless spring is fully immersed in a liquid contained in a reservoir. What is the time period of small oscillations of the block? Given mass of the block is m, density of the block rho b, natural length of the spring L spring constant K, acceleration due to gravity G, density of the liquid rho V, damping coefficient of the liquid gamma, that is damping per unit mass per unit velocity. For a damped harmonic oscillator, equation of motion is dx by dt square plus gamma dx by dt plus omega naught square x is equal to 0. Now if we try to solve this, then we will get solution of it, and from there we can calculate damped angular frequency omega d, which is equal to under root omega naught square minus gamma square by 4. So from here time period will be 2 pi by omega d, which will be 2 pi 1 upon, and omega naught square is omega is equal to under root k by m, which is undamped natural angular frequency. So 1 upon k by m minus gamma square by 4. So here option D is correct. Next question. A particle is moving with velocity Vx is equal to Vy is equal to Vz is equal to c by 2 in frame S. The ratio of velocity component Vy to the velocity component Vy dash as measured in frame S dash, moving with velocity c by 2 with respect to frame S along the common x direction is. Frame S dash is moving at a relative velocity c by 2 with respect to S. So Vy dash is equal to Vy upon gamma 1 minus Vx u by c square, and gamma is equal to 1 upon under root 1 minus u square by c square, which is 1 minus, it is half, so 1 by 4, so this will be 3 by 4, and root 4 is 2. So Vy by Vy dash is equal to gamma in bracket 1 minus Vx u by c square. This is 2 by root 3. This will be 1 minus, again c by 2 by c square, 1 by 4. So 2 by root 3 into 3 by 4, which is root 3 by 2, and that is equal to cos pi by 6. So here option C is correct. Next question. The average lifetime of a muon in its rest frame is 2200 nanoseconds. What will be the average distance travelled by it which created with a velocity of c by 3 before it decays? Here c is the speed of light. So T naught is 2.2 into 10 to the power minus 6. V is equal to c by 3. Gamma is 1 upon under root 1 minus v square by c square. So 1 minus, it is c by 3. So 1 by 9. So 8 by 9. So root 8 and 3. Now distance covered is velocity into time. So v into this time will be dilated time. So gamma into T naught. Velocity is c by 3. Gamma is 3 by root 8 and T naught is 2.2 into 10 to the power minus 6. And value of c is 3 into 10 to the power 8. So after solving you will get 233.38 meter. So to the nearest integer, so answer will be 233. So these were all the questions from classical mechanics part from JEST 2025 paper. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Keep learning.